amazing atmosphere, amazing crowd. I cannot thank Lady Raider Nation enough for showing up. We have been dealt a really bad hand, I think, in the scheduling piece of it because we only have 2 home Saturday games in Big 12 play, and both of them are double headers and on the back end of a double header. So I understand how difficult it is for people to leave and come back, and I just cannot thank them enough for showing up. Man, what an incredible atmosphere. And I had to just take a moment during the school song and just look around and just soak it all in because before the game I was like trying to stay so focused, but it's something we've been working for a really long time, and these girls deserve every second of it, and I just thank you guys for showing up so much. What a fun game. I thought our kids threw the first punch and never looked back. We talked about how much more fun it is when the ball goes in the basket. In the first half, the ball went in the basket for us from the three-point line especially, and so that was really fun. We knew that Arizona wouldn't go away, and they continued to change their defenses up, and it made it a little bit ugly for us in the second half, and kudos to them for that. But I did think that our kids handled it and continued to defend, continued to apply pressure, and they just shared the ball really well. We had a couple of possessions that was really good ball movement, and we share it so well. It's awesome to see 5 different people in double figures. Great to have these 2 girls sitting by me today for their standout performances. And it's just, I'm so proud of this team for creating some history and being the first team in the history of this program to go 16-0. There's been some really good basketball teams. I was on one of them, and we did not go 16-0. So I am so proud of them, and we're not done. We're not done. We're ready to continue to go 1-0 each week.
Coach just mentioned it, first team ever to go 16-0. You're a player that transferred into this program. You believed in the mission. What does it mean to you to see that number up there?
It's a really special feeling. Like you said, like I did transfer here, and I believed in everything that Coach Grillick told me before I got here and what we could bring back to Texas Tech women's basketball, and we're seeing it unfold right in front of us, and I think it's really special. Like she said, we're bringing all the fans back now, and it's really awesome to go out there and see thousands of fans out there right, even before the game starts. And so being 16-0 helps with that, and it's a really special moment for us.
Obviously, defense, you always get the toughest assignment. Once again, back-to-back games with the top 10 scorer. Shut this one down as well. What is your preparation going into a game knowing that you're going to get those type of players?
I don't know. I think I just put a little pressure on myself to know that most of the time that the coaches trust me to stop their best scorer, and I rely a lot on my teammates to be in gaps and help also. So they help me out a lot, but honestly, I just go out there and I just know and think to myself that I can stop her, and every possession, we just go one at a time.
Is it just energy for you? Because I know people say that about defense, but I feel like that takes away from a player that's as good as you are on defense. But, like, what is your, I guess, mindset, or how do you approach playing defense?
For me, I just take it one possession at a time. I just know you got to get up and pressure the ball and make people uncomfortable when they have it. Not many people like to dribble with pressure on them. So really just pressuring them, and, yeah.
Adley, how do you just stay ready? I mean, they're playing a zone. That's your thing. You go out there, hit all those shots. Second leading scorer of the night. How do you kind of stay ready to come in at any moment and do that?
I think just knowing what we're doing always. Today I spent extra time before the game watching film, making sure I knew my personnel, which I always do, but today I took extra time just because I knew that we're down a couple of players, and so knowing that they were going to need me to step up when I did. And so and knowing that, like, Coach has confidence in me, my teammates have confidence in me, and having confidence in myself that when my number is called, I'm going to go out there and do what I need to do.
And similar question to Danae, but we talked to you in the summer, and you told your recruiting story, and that you kind of like stopped Coach Gerlich before she could even give you the pitch on what she wanted to change here, and that you were like, no, I'm all in. I want to help this change. And I know you have a long ways to go, and you're not done at all, but 16-0, does it feel pretty good that maybe you've been a part of something so far?
Absolutely. I think too, like growing up in Lubbock and just like seeing where this program has been, and like even looking at this like 16,000 fan, or I'm sorry, 6,000. 16 would be crazy. Yeah, sorry, 6,000. Yeah, seeing 6,000 fans, like, and that number just keeps on building. Like I remember when I first got here, it was like 3,000, and so now it's like people love to come watch people win. And West Texas, like, they get behind. Like, I played in front of sold-out crowds all throughout high school. And so just, like, seeing people show up, seeing familiar faces in the stands, like, and me, like, as a kid growing up here and watching this team and now getting to be a part of, like, something special being 16-0 is, like, a dream for me, honestly. And, like, I just love being able to do it with these girls out of everyone, so.
And this is for both of you or either of you that wants to answer it, but obviously y'all got a new teammate recently. What made y'all want to go show up at the airport to make sure that y'all were there to support her and the news when y'all heard all that?
Okay. I mean, why wouldn't we? You know, like it's such a special opportunity for us to add someone in, and also Stephanie's just like a great human being, and so like us being able to come support her, like her traveling, you know, as far as she did to come want to be a part of what we're doing here, like why would we not want to go and be welcoming to her and just show her what Lady Raider basketball is all about from the jump. And like it's been nothing but great having her here so far. I know she hasn't been here for very long, but so I'm excited. I think we all are excited, so.
Yeah, no, same thing. Yeah. But, yeah, I would say the same thing, and just I know what it feels like to transfer a couple of times. So when you have people on this team go show up and show that we want her here and that we support her coming here, it means a lot, like, as being that person that comes into a new team. And it just shows that, like, the team cares about her already, and she hasn't even played a single minute here, so.
I don't want to mispronounce her last name, so I'm just going to call her Stephanie. Obviously, she's your biggest player, but talking to Coach Burke earlier, she mentioned how her team had problems with the trees. Season high 11 blocks in this game. Can you just talk about your defense, especially in the paint? You had that one sequence where Snudda had back-to-back blocks. Just talk about your defense.
Yeah, well, we play really good team defense, I think, and our kids are so unselfish that they help one another. And it's interesting because all summer long, preseason, when we talked about defense, we talked about selfishness and unselfishness. And, you know, you hear those words a lot when you're talking about offense, right? And we really talked a lot about it on defense, of not being selfish and thinking about your man, but helping your teammate with their man. And so I think that our rotations are really good. I think we go where we're supposed to be and get there as soon as we can. And then we really try to encourage them to use their athleticism. And I think Snudda had, she had 2 blocks in one possession. It looks like she was only credited 2, but she alters a lot of shots, and that's from her length and her athleticism. You know, Jalen Bristow's used to doing that. Sarah's used to doing that. And so I'm just proud of them for rotating in the right spot, being in the right spot, and then playing great basketball. Like, let's put on a show, right? Like, let's if you can alter a shot and send it to the stands, let's do it.
Adley, you kind of touched on it, but, you know, with a couple players out, have you approached the game differently? Have you just thought more about needing to score or anything going in?
I think more so it's been defensively, because our identity is defense. And so I know, like, shooting the ball is like second nature to me, and so I know that will always be there. But I know that as I'm stepping into a role like tonight, I have to be able to defend at a high level with the rest of our team. And so, like, today I spent time watching my footwork because I had been crossing my feet a little bit, and so I tried to be more intentional about making sure that I'm in a stance, ready to guard. I knew they were going to go at me, and I was able to hold my own, so which I'm thankful for. And so, like, just getting that gives me the confidence and gives them the confidence to know that I can step into any role that I need to for this team.
And you mentioned, being there to welcome Stephanie. I know obviously it hasn't been a long time, but what has she shown you just of her personality, or how has she sort of introduce yourself to the team.
She's super joyful. Like first thing she did when she got off the plane she's like jumping up in the air, like super excited to see us, just like we were. And so like just seeing her like contagious joy has been so exciting for us. And at halftime, she was talking to Jada too about like some adjustments that Jada could make. And so she's already like making an impact in our locker room and trying to help everyone be the best person that they can be. And so I love it. So I'm excited for her to, step into our team.
She also watched every one of our games before she got here. Like every time we played, she tuned in. So she's very familiar with her teammates and with how we play already, which is very cool. Awesome. Good job, girls.
Thank you, guys.
Don't forget Mom.
All right, Coach. Big thing to take away from the stat sheet tonight is that 40 points off the bench, having 5 different players reach double digits. What does that say about your team's ability to spread the wealth in terms of scoring and knowing that they can rely on many different playmakers instead of just one?
Yeah, I think it's been huge for us to be able to share the basketball and know that we have a lot of offensive weapons. I think that's one of the things that makes this team special and tough is that the defense really has to be concerned with every player that's on the floor. And I think tonight they did a fantastic job. Our kids did a fantastic job of understanding their roles and their strengths. And when people are in a zone, our three-point shooters have to step up. And I thought Danae and Adley did a fantastic job of that. And so it was their night. Another night it'll be Jalen. Another night it'll be Snutta. Another night it'll be Jada. A couple of games ago it was Sarah. Like, it's been fantastic to be able to have that type of balance, of scoring balance with our kids. And so, I mean, we can go from, I would say, 7, 8 deep that can score in double figures on any given night.
So now get a pretty quick turnaround and a big travel day heading to West Virginia for the next Big 12 matchup. How have you guys already turned your focus from getting off the court following that win to, okay, what do we need to do for the Mountaineers?
Yeah, we for sure will celebrate this tonight because winning is really, really hard. And when you do, you have to take a moment to enjoy it. And so we will definitely let them enjoy it for tonight. We will have an off day tomorrow for the players, not necessarily for the coaches. But this team has been so good all year long about going 1-0. And we just went 1-0, and now their focus is on the next one, which is West Virginia. They know it's a business trip. They know it's a hard business trip because it's a long ways to Morgantown, which is one of the reasons that we played at Washington State, is so that we would have that experience of going that far and being really on an island by ourselves because we won't have many fans there, and figuring out a way to win on the road in a tough environment. So I think our kids have already prepared themselves, but I'm really excited to see their mentality and their approach to this trip.
And then we heard what Adley and Danae had to say about it, but what was it like for you getting to see Stephanie with the team tonight, walking around during warm-ups, sitting on the bench, cheering? I saw her throw up the gun for a 3 at one point. What has her impact just been being around the squad?
Yeah, it's been a hell of a 48 hours, It's very surreal because we've been working on this for a while. And, she signed with us actually back in October, but we didn't want to draw a lot of attention to it because there were so many things that still had to be done for her to make it to Lubbock, Texas. And that did not happen until December 31st. So that's how long we've been working on it. Eric DeRue has done a phenomenal job of obviously our international recruiting, but particularly with this particular case. Because as you all know from what you've read, she had an opportunity to go to another school in our conference even, and other universities thought it was too difficult to get her here or maybe thought they couldn't get her here. And I don't think that Eric DeRue can take no for an answer. And so he really worked diligently day and night, did a lot of talking to people and a lot of research on how to make this happen, a lot of education on how to make this happen. And we had a lot of people just even in our camp that really went to war for us. And it was a long process, but we never gave up hope. So it was really emotional when she walked through those doors at the Lubbock International Airport, because it was something that we were really hopeful for, and we were like, man, this could be really game-changing. This could be an incredible feat for not just our program, but for this university and for the exposure that we're getting. Like, she's the tallest player to ever play Division I women's basketball. So it was extremely emotional, and the fact that they even recognized, right, that we didn't tell them to come out there and meet them and meet her. They came out there because they're so fired up about what she can bring, not just as a basketball player to this program, but as Adley said, like, she's a really good person, and she's so grateful to be here and to have this opportunity, and she fits in perfectly for the type of kids that we have in this program and the culture that we have. So it's been incredible. I still think it's surreal. Like, every time I walk by, or like every time I see her, I'm just like, high five up here, or like this, or like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I come to your shoulders, it's surreal. But she's just so grateful to be here. And I'm just so thankful that Lady Raider Nation is doing exactly what we told her they would do, which is welcome her with open arms.
And just to follow up on her, is there any timeline that y'all know of with the NCAA, or is it just kind of up in the air until they answer?
Anybody know a timeline with the NCAA? We have filed what we need to file. It's in their hands. So we think that it could be very quick, but it really is up to them. So like I said, we've done what we can do, and we're just hopeful that they'll do it quickly, but we'll see. Yeah.
And how do you feel about your team's ability to handle all of this attention? I mean, everybody. It was the biggest story in women's college basketball the last 2 days, and they come out and play one of their better games of the year. I don't know if you agree with that, but
yeah,
margin-wise, for sure.
Yeah. So we talked to them. We actually didn't tell them about her for a long time. Really, probably past week and a half is when we brought it to their attention, because again, we didn't want to talk about it if it wasn't going to happen. When we felt like it was truly going to happen, we brought it to them, and basically I made sure they understood that we would never disrupt what they have going on if we didn't think it could elevate what they're doing. And we have 9 seniors on this team, and those seniors, this is their last chance, right? They're playing like it. It's fantastic. And they want every opportunity to continue to climb and have the best season they can possibly have. And when you bring somebody in like Stephanie, that's something that we don't have. It's not like we brought in somebody that can shoot the three, somebody that, she brings an element to the game and to our team that we don't have. They didn't bat an eye. They trust us as a staff. They want to be great, and they're just really good kids. And so I talked to them about that as well, as far as the attention, and said, I do not want this to distract from what we're doing, and I don't want it to be a distraction. And they just weren't even concerned about it. Like, they were like, this is going to be great. Like, I even asked them, does it make sense for her to be on the bench for us tonight, because it's so new? Or do we need to put her in a suite or somewhere that she's present, but she's not the attention, whatever? And Jalen Bristow came to me and said, we want her on the bench with us. Like, she's part of our team. I was like, okay, done, done. And so this is how mature they are. This is how, and I probably was more nervous for the start of this game than I have been, and for the others. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed this year about this team is I haven't been nervous about, are we going to show up? Because I trust them so much with their approach to the game, with how they're playing, with their approach to the season. But tonight I was probably more nervous than anything because of that, because of just the distraction of that. And clearly it's not a distraction. Clearly they said, let's go, let's roll with it. And I really love the way they're handling everything.
And a couple of fitting things tonight in my mind. She's 7'1". shortest player on the team, led the team in rebounds. Can you talk about his ability to rebound out there?
Well, she's clearly going to help us in that area. We've always said from day one that we've got to gang rebound. And so we're going to continue to do that. And maybe she might be a little stingy, right? She might get a few of them so she'll be a little closer to that rim than the rest of them. But she's definitely going to be able to help us in that area. She's going to be able to protect the rim for us as well. But she was kind of funny about when we were watching film before the game with this team. I asked her, I said, how much of our scout, do you really understand? And how much are you, really comprehending and knowing what to do? And she walked me through it, and she understands a lot, mostly because she had been watching us play. But she did say, our centers are too nice. And I was like, our centers are too nice? And she said, yes. She said, they need to swat it out of there. And so maybe Snetta heard her say that, because Snetta swatted a few tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved everything you just said. But specifically about Hema, can you just talk about her ability to actually do that anyway?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I guess I didn't answer your question. I got distracted. Hema is a really good rebounding guard. It's because she always is pursuing. She never stops moving, and she's always pursuing the ball. Because to be honest, she's either headed to get the outlet on a made shot, or she's headed to get the rebound or the outlet off of a missed shot. So she's constantly moving, and her pace is so good. And so I think she just has a knack for getting to the basketball.
And then I asked Adley about this, but I don't know that I've ever heard your side of her recruiting story about, she said she walked in and you tried to start pitching her, and she was like, no, I don't. I'm in. If you could just tell your side of that story.
Well, okay, so let's back up, because as an 8th grader, I'm going to take credit that we were her first offer at UT Arlington, because her grandparents lived down the street in Arlington from and so I knew about her as an 8th grader. And so we offered her then. So I tried real hard when I got this job. I tried real hard to talk her, to flip her. Is that what they call her? To call it after they're committed? Because she committed. She actually committed, I believe, the day before I got the job. That might be wrong. I don't know, but it was real close. It was real close. And so, we tried. It didn't happen. So I was very upset about that. So when she got in the portal, I thought I was going to have to sell it, because she already told me no once. So I did think, when she came to campus and came on her visit, she did tell me, no, this is what I've dreamt of. I love hearing her say, she grew up wanting to do this, and the program wasn't in a state that she wanted to be a part of at the time when it was her time. And so I'm so glad that we got it there, and we got it there a couple of years ago, enough for her to see that, hey, I want to be a part of this because I know you're going to continue to build it.
Coach, how many years of eligibility is Stephanie going to have, or is that part of what, the NCAA is figuring out?
Yeah, that so what we're waiting on right now is her initial eligibility, because we want her to be able to play right away. So that's what we're waiting on. After that, we will file more. I don't know. It's not necessarily a waiver, but we'll file more paperwork to see how many years that we can get. But she's never played NCAA basketball, college basketball. So technically she has 4. It's just a matter of not necessarily a clock, a little bit of a clock, but just how the NCAA interprets what she's been doing since she graduated from high school.
And when did she graduate, or how old is she, just to kind of put in that?
So she actually graduated from high school in 24, right? Is that correct, Jared? Yeah, in 24. She's 21. But there's the COVID year. There's some things in there that are part of the case that we'll file. So we'll see what happens about that.
And you mentioned rebounding and defense. That almost seems obvious with someone that tall, but what else does she bring, and what is the basketball experience that she has at this point?
She's got really great hands. Clearly they're really large, and so she can catch the basketball. But she's got great touch too. She's got a great feel for around the rim. She uses the glass really well. I think that she'll fit into our offensive scheme really well because of our high-low offense. right? And I think we'll be able to get her the basketball in some really great spots to make it easy for her to score it. And then obviously the defensive end of it, just being able to protect the rim, alter shots, probably will allow us to pressure even more out on the perimeter, so that whenever you can do that, and you know that you've got a big behind you that can protect the rim, it gives your guards a little bit more freedom to take a few more chances. So I think that'll be really great. She went to school in Japan for a couple of years, and so has been playing over there, but she's been training with Nigeria. When she's in Nigeria, she's been training with a lot of trainers there. You know, I'm not real sure how long she's been playing basketball, but she's got a pretty good skill set for as big as she is, and just her academic experience that she's had and being able to go from country to country. Like, that's been pretty amazing. But I'm real anxious for everyone to get to hear her story, because it's pretty incredible. And it's going to, it's not ending right with her just being at Texas Tech. I think she's going to be able to tell the journey that she's going to take us on, and the journey that we're going to be able to take her on is going to continue her story. Yep. Thank you, guys.